I don't know if any of you guys know this guy. Does anybody know Chris Colomb? Does that name ring a bell? He was a Beacon guy, Chef Chris.
Oh, yes.
I was editing last Thursday. My wife sent me a message, said she heard on the radio. Apparently, he died, got into a car accident.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Like I said, he was a Beacon guy, but he was also a chef. And like the first few Blazes and other tournaments, he would always be like, quote unquote, caterer. I don't know how much those things can be catered, but he did a pretty good job of it. I just thought I should mention him. Just, he was a disc golfer, and I've mentioned him actually. I've mentioned him not by name in the past. He's the guy, if I've ever mentioned, he throws left-handed, but he's naturally right-handed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just a bummer. I don't really know what else to say about it, but I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah,
it's just
that's
sad.
tough.
He's a big Yankee fan, and we used to have a running bet whenever the Mets would play the Yankees, a $5 bet. So, they do the Subway Series, and I met him playing disc golf at Beacon, but then because he was a chef, once COVID hit, it really messed him up because, restaurants were basically, they were still around, but it took a hit because he was like a fine dining, like he worked at the Roundhouse in Beacon. I don't know if you're familiar with it, the Castle. What do you call it? I think he went to like the Culinary Institute, whatever it is. So he was like a fancy chef, not like a, short order cook. So when COVID hit, essentially he lost his job, and it took him a while. He was trying a bunch of different things. So I knew him from disc golf, but then he moved like around the corner from me for a while. And we'd hang out. I'd go over there when he was watching his kids and such. I haven't talked to him in a bit, probably in the last year or so, because like I said, after COVID, he got kind of super busy. He was like hustling because, there wasn't a lot of chef's jobs running around. So like the last baseball season, we didn't even connect, but I still have a $5 bill on my fridge from the last time they played, and we bet from it because I would just figure I'll just grab it when the Mets lose and give him his 5, but it just sucks.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man.
I don't know.
You have to keep that $5 bill around.
No, it's on my refrigerator for, in perpetuity. Plus I have he brought me over food one time, and I never got to return the dish. So I still have that.
I thought you were going to say you still have the food.
No.
Don't eat it.
The cool thing was, because he knows, I don't know how well you guys know, but I have like the blandest palate in the history of food eating. So he would do these for one of the tournaments, he did like a big clam bake or something, like a seafood had this big old pot, and, was stirring it up. It was all this kind of crazy seafood. And he had me some plain wings because he knew that's all I was going to eat, Yeah. I don't know. Has everybody here played the Beacon course?
Yep.
I have not.
I have not.
It used to be hole 3, but hole 1, the flagpole, behind the flagpole, there's this big like kiln looking thing. And he actually got that working and cooked in it for one of the tournaments. So during one of the Blazes, we're playing hole 1 or 3 at the time. I don't even know anymore, but there's smoke billowing out of that's where you're like approaching the basket. And it had smoke billowing up through it. And he would be like running back and forth, checking on the food while people were throwing. It was freaking awesome, actually. Yeah, it's kind of depressing, but... Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Alex, Jaimen, Jasan, Corey, and Evan Parsley. So we had some drama this week. I don't know if you guys are aware. And while I love me some drama, I don't like to be the cause of it. And I certainly don't try to manufacture it unless it's among you guys. I love making drama against you guys. But I thought it would be fun to do the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year in a bunch of different categories this year. But I screwed it up. I learned about the screw up pretty early on. I usually put these episodes out on like a Friday. And I've probably mentioned this before. Some of the services say it can take up to 24 hours for them to be available. And I wanted to be certain they'd be available for Saturday, road trips to tournaments, team challenge, whatever. I used to set them on Friday for 6 a.m. But apparently Jasan needs something to listen to while he's milking the chickens or something for work. So I changed it to 2 a.m. Then I found out that Mark Bryan mentioned that he goes into work at like 1 a.m. So I started releasing them at midnight. It might sound like I'm complaining, but I'm not. I think it's cool that people want to listen. So I don't mind. If I can accommodate, I will. If it's a late Thursday night and I'm not going to make it to midnight before I finish, I'm not going to, I'll just delay it a little bit. So I was surprised this week when I received a Facebook message at 1:20 in the morning about an episode released just like an hour before. First of all, does anybody want to take a guess as to who left this message?
Mark Bryan.
I have a guess. Joe
no
Karen.
Nope. And not Mark Bryan, not Joe Karen. Were there any other names?
Brian Bickersmith.
Justin Muselli.
Yeah, that's the actual answer, I think.
Greg Kurtz.
Yeah, it wasn't Bickersmith, but it was Muselli.
Ah.
Mucelli. No, I'm not sure.
Mucelli.
I'll read the message Justin sent. Again, Friday, 1:20 a.m. Hey, Pat, I know I'm being somewhat particular when saying this, but I did come in tied for third at both New York State's and April Showers, which would put me in a first place tie with Tucker. I understand if you didn't count tied for thirds. I said tied for third, absolutely count. It will be addressed next episode. When I took up the chore of calculating the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year in multiple divisions, I say chore to make it sound like it was a lot of hard work. But what I did was, I did 5 divisions and 12 tournaments. So I'm like, well, what's the quickest way to do this? So what I did was I just grabbed the first 3 names in each division without thinking about ties or scores even. I took the names, no scores. Not only did I screw over some people who tied for third, I didn't even account for ties for second. So this weekend, because Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference championship game in football, I went back and I recalculated everyone who was mentioned last week based on score and position. I only went through people who had enough points that I had already calculated them. I made sure when I was checking, there weren't any new names that popped in that would add much, other than I will say that in the AM40 division, Evan Parsley actually gets 3 points. Tied for second at Blatnick Breeze and third place at Electra City.
Woo. I want to thank my sponsor, 80K Discs. Shout out, Andrew.
The only other change I saw in AM40 is Joe Karen was tied for second, so he actually gets 5 points instead of 4. Still fourth place, though. AM1, that one had already had 4 players tied for first place. This one, who knows? There might have been, somebody might have slipped by it. This would be the only one, but it's AM1, so, move up, baggers. From here, Alex still has 3 points. Sorry, Alex. He's muted.
Yeah, all good.
But there was a 4-way tie. Jeremy Kasprick, Tyler Gannon, Charles Gordon Jr. III, and Ethan Hatters all had 4. But Tyler Gannon actually was tied for second at Electra City, so that gives him 5 points. Jeremy Kasprick was tied for second at Wilcox, also with 5 points. So Jeremy Kasprick and Tyler Gannon are actually the 2 in the lead for AM1. In the MP40 division, initially there was a tie for first with Chad Larson and Brian Bickersmith at 8 points. Turns out, Brian Bickersmith actually tied for second at the Electra City Classic, which gives him an extra point and bumps him up to 9 points. So he had a third at New York State's, second at Electra City, second at Jammer, second at Blatnick Breeze, and second at Stonykillers Scramble. So Brian Bickersmith is actually your MP40 Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year.
Pays to play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was another one where not every tournament had enough for that division. Like FPO had like 3 tournaments where there weren't enough. So he placed in 5 of the only 10 or 11 tournaments. So that's pretty good. In the FPO division, not much other than Caitlin Clay actually tied for second at Minekill. So instead of 15 points, she has 16 for the win. So congratulations, Caitlin. I'm just trying to build the suspense.
Of course.
So the MPO division, Corey Cook still got 4 points.
Darn it.
Ethan Hatters and Kyle Hirsch still with 6. Justin Muccelli, because of his tie for third at New York State's and DisCap Presents April Showers, does indeed get 7 points. But Tucker Kozlowski actually tied for second at Electra City Classic, so he actually has 8 points for the win.
Oh, wow. I did not see that coming.
So Justin actually, he does move up from, 5th to 2nd, but Tucker is still your Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year with 8 points.
Pat, I want to commend you for your accountability, taking responsibility and crunching the numbers again. And for no particular reason, I think next year I would vote to include Blatnick and Stonewall, and not just because I got podium in both of those tournaments.
Well, I was surprised that Corey didn't fight harder for Battle of Saratoga. You got in the podium in that, right?
Yeah, I kind of forget which ones I've come in second place at Heiser at this point. I feel like 2 tournaments there a year. They kind of just blend together, especially because the weather's always the same.
Well, one's in the spring, one's in the fall, though, right?
Yeah.
Early spring, early fall can kind of be.
Yeah, early April
similar.
and late October. It's like, there's not many leaves on the trees, and it could be snowy, it could be rainy, it could be cold, the sun could be out. I never know.
Actually, speaking of adding tournaments, you know what I thought about and wanted to get your opinion? This would be, of course, for next year, but I didn't want to include the flexes because they're 1-round tournaments. But what about if keep track of all of them and do a point series for all of them and then have one winner out of all the flexes? You see what I'm saying? It adds more math to it, which I suck at, but,
What about Paint Bureau Pro League?
I was just going to say that.
I'm kind of biased there, so I feel bad mentioning it, but that's a pretty good sample of our area, too.
I wouldn't be against it. I mean, we got a year. It's funny because I was like, man, I wonder if I'm doing it too early in December. And I looked last year, I did it in October. So I'll make a note of that as well. Paint Bureau Pro League. Not to say that they're guarantees, but it's a discussion that we can have before the next one.
I'm always a fan of more math, too, so if you need a hand with anything in that area, let me know.
I would have just made Justin do it since he brought it up.
Well, you'd still have to audit his results, right? I mean, you know.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I just rushed it. Yeah, so the only real change is that Brian Bickersmith is now officially the winner. Sorry, Chad Larson.
Did that affect the prize money very much, Pat?
Actually, yes, it totally changed it. So everybody's got to give back their prize money, and I'll figure out where the rightful place is after the fact. Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
Our main topic was we had a couple New England team challenge matches this weekend. Before we got to those, though, I did want to mention Nine Pin Cider Putting League for last week 5. Mark Bryan posted back to full capacity this week, 86 putters. Congratulations to Peter Lauber, who takes home the entire ace pot with a perfect shot on the Champ Cap basket, as well as a great score for cash payout. You will now start to see season total scores start to populate. Season scores will be used to determine season end prizes, courtesy of Nine Pin Cider, worthy signs and apparel, and maybe more TBA. If you have a prize you would like to donate to the end of season pool, please reach out. Season scores will be the best 5 weeks. If you did not play at least 5 of the 7 weeks, you will not be eligible for a season prize. Your division for the season is based on whichever of your 5 best weeks had more scores, i.e. your best 5 weeks you played pro twice and free 3 times, you will be in the free prize pool. Reach out to me if you have any questions about scoring. Due to the formulas I used, your season score will not show on the spreadsheet until you have at least 5 weeks of scores. Only 2 more weeks to lock in some good scores and take home some sweet merch. So week 5 results, looks like there was a tie for second in the non-paying league. Kyle Dewin and Mark Bryan had 19 points, but Brandon Klein, Patreon Brandon Klein, former nemesis, now best buddy Brandon Klein, is your winner with 21 points. In the paid league, looks like 20 points got the Tower Power, Jason Gorsuch, Fritz Howard, and Kyle Moore. Benji Farrell had 21 points. Devin Lamke and Pete Lauber had 22. Ryan Martin and Jay O'Leary had 23. And your winner with 25 points and took home $40 in prize money, Joe Karen. That's a podcast correspondent, Joe Karen. He sends the most stuff to go over, so he's got to be a correspondent.
He is our guy in the field.
Sort. Yeah.
Boots on the ground, Joe Karen.
Heck yeah. And like Mark Bryant said, Pete Lauber was the only recipient of the ace pool. Looks like $51.
Pat, I was there last week, and we played early, and Randy told us that he got an ace during his practice round, so it didn't count, but thought it was worth mentioning since he's not here. It was a really difficult shot with the champ cap on from distance, so good job to both of them, but Randy doesn't get any money.
But Randy said he did it before anyone was there, and no one else saw it.
Super sus.
Yeah.
And it was a practice shot with absolutely no pressure because nobody was watching. Okay, no, good job, Randy. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, he'll be on in a bit and we can poke fun at him about that. So let me pull out my master sheet here. I just want to check real quick how accurate this is. DisCap, before this match this past weekend, what was your record? Was it 1-1?
Yep.
Okay. So this seems to be up to date. Okay. So DisCaptains, you guys hosted Queen City?
Yep.
Where is Queen City? I know I've asked this before.
They're Manchester, New Hampshire. Their home course is the Hollows North.
Okay. So you guys hosted this? Who did this whiteboard?
I did.
You did. Do you have a fine tipped dry erase marker? How
Yep,
did you do this?
I went to Walmart on Friday to pick up some new Expo markers, and they have ultra fine tipped ones. So they're like, this is the first time I've seen them. They're very nice to work with. The one problem for any captains listening is since there's less like ink in them, they freeze faster. So I have like one green and blue hand warmer now because I would have to keep the tips of them on the hand warmer as I was writing in my pocket.
If you look at the whiteboard, the other thing I notice is the silhouette of the photo taker, and I can put money on who that silhouette is, right?
Yeah.
If that's not Jeff Wachowski, I don't know who is.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, just checking.
Also, he needs to clean off his lens. Every time I look at the picture, there's like a big black spot over Tom Rascona.
Yeah. Or this is just a silhouette of just before you got hit in the head with a disc.
I thought it was just a dirty screen on my wife's laptop.
Well, no, because I can see it looks like somebody's bag in the lower left corner too.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, so you guys went into this match 1-1. Queen City was 2-0, right?
Yep, they were 2-0.
Okay. So what were you thinking going in? We probably did a preview last week, but do a quick recap. Is this a beatable team?
Yeah, it's absolutely beatable. We've got the J Park advantage, which is, a pretty strong bonus for us. They are a pretty solid team. So I was looking at it thinking that, matchups really had to go well and we still had to do everything right. But, I was feeling like this shouldn't be the hardest match in the world. I wasn't expecting like a super, super close score, but I was expecting a lot of good golf. I was expecting a lot of battles and that kind of stuff.
Did you get there on time?
I got there 6 minutes early. So I got there at 8:24. Matchups are at 8:30. I got there at 8:24, which is early for me. I've been spending an awful lot of time lately trying to figure out why I'm late for everything and how I can make that better and stop doing that. And I'm getting better at it. And honestly, the accountability of having put it out on the podcast has helped out.
Shame.
No, yeah, it's real. It's real. When I got to Turkey Throwdown on time, because it's a tournament, and I get to tournaments on time, it's just team challenge that I'm late. And Cranky goes, "Oh, you're on time." I was like, "What the fuck? I hate this." So
Shame is a powerful tool.
yeah, no, it's so yeah, I'm gonna flip the script so everybody it's like, wow, Jaimen's actually late for once in my life.
Well, I mean, it's a home match, but it's still over an hour, right?
It's an hour 15, yeah, but it's been an hour 15 from Glens Falls since I think I've lived here for like 4 years now.
Good point. What's your morning routine? I mean, do you have a place you stop for coffee, for something to eat? Once you're out the door, I mean.
Yeah, it depends on the morning. Sometimes I need to like grab something quick. I needed to grab breakfast this time. So when I need to grab breakfast, I stop. There's a Starbucks like one roundabout away on exit 12. Actually, it's 3 roundabouts away on exit 12 because exit 12 sucks. But yeah, so I stop there and get something quick. That's usually the fastest one. But that's only like a 5-minute detour if everything's moving all right. And at 7 in the morning, it usually is.
What's your morning routine before a match at J Park? Because that's about an hour for you or less?
J Park? No, I'm close to J Park. It's like
okay.
20 minutes away. It's probably the closest course besides Greenville now. Yeah, my morning routine's pretty much the same as normal. Yeah, I just get dressed and drive straight there.
All right. Corey, what's your big routine for, what is it, a 2-minute drive?
Yeah, and I'm always the last one to get there because I always underestimate how much stuff I have to do before I'm out the house, between getting the wood stove set for the day and grabbing my 2-stroke powered blender and getting the meatballs going and running inside the house and outside the house 3-4 times. I keep feeling I forgot something. Unfortunately, I don't get to pass the stewards on the way to the course, though, so usually don't eat breakfast or have any coffee on the way down there.
All right, so Queen Cities, how'd the matchups go?
Matchups went super well. We had like the magical number where we controlled the maximum amount of things that you can possibly control as far as matchups are concerned. So that was super nice. And I think we did a good job of utilizing it. So they went great first round. We've always got control of that. So if they don't go great, it's kind of my own fault.
Looks like maybe Corey Cook was first.
Yep.
Was he a response?
He was a response. They threw out Todd Foster, who's an absolute goblin of a player. He'll eat your soul. So I knew Corey had to play him.
And obviously their best player. I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
So how'd that go, Corey?
It went pretty smoothly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like Jaimen said, Todd is usually an absolute killer on the course, even though his rating might not reflect it. But he must have been having an off day. I don't know. I think I just got him on a good day. Yeah, didn't have to do anything spectacular. Todd has actually plays like the 50-plus division and threw a lot of overhand. So I think this might have been the one rare time that just the way the cards fell, Jaimen didn't really have any like stats on this guy. So he just kind of threw me to maybe not their best guy this time.
Okay. Every once in a while.
Yeah, no, we still had a good time. I don't know that anything spectacular happened other than just to back it up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, they must have had a bunch of guys down there practicing. And I get home and I'm in the garage making sure my gas-powered blender works just fine. And, I get a message in the team group chat from Jaimen saying, hey, can any of the locals swing by the park and see if there's a bag there? Which to me means, Corey, can you go see if there's a bag left behind at the park? Because no one else is going to go over there.
Hint, hint.
Much appreciated. I'm glad you picked up on that.
No, I mean, at first I'm like, well, no one else is going to be there until the morning. But, the guy's phone was in there and it wasn't that big of a deal. So I swung by and grabbed his bag. Jaimen did promise me that meant that I would be playing against this guy, which is not actually how it turned out.
Yeah, the other part of that was you had to figure out who it was and tell me his name. I never explained that part. I didn't know who it was.
Oh, damn it. I still, you know what? I asked the guy, and I think I even played with him during double. Okay, yeah, I played with him during double, so I guess I do know what his name is.
Spoiler alert, but what happened in doubles?
Wait, with who?
You played with him in doubles, right? He wasn't your partner.
No.
So what happened in doubles?
Oh, he whooped his ass. Is that
Oh,
what
you're welcome.
Looks like you won by 10 strokes, Corey.
I'm like, oh, what was I supposed to say about this guy? But no, yeah, singles went fine. Played with Justin, so I definitely got the preview on the demand for a recount in the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Player of the Year. One other thing too, when I did go down there and pick up that guy's bag, I feel like I had to respond to the group chat saying that it was weird that there was only 3 discs and a putter left in there. There wasn't, unfortunately. There was just an almost dead phone and a full bag.
So between you and Justin, you guys are up 2 points. Looks like, yeah, Jaimen was the next. You were a response or you were out first, Jaimen? Do you remember?
I gotta see. I was a response.
Who's this? Was it Colby Foster?
Yep.
Is he any good?
Yeah. Just like by the numbers, it probably should have been a little bit easier, but I wasn't playing super well. And honestly, he wasn't playing super well either. We were both kind of holding the door open for each other. A lot of missed putts, a lot of just like really doinked opportunities throughout the round. Came down to the last hole, which is never super fun. Missed putts was really the whole round. I was ahead by 2 for a while, and then I can't remember which one he took a point on, but towards the end he took one, and then I was leading by 1, and then on the last hole, I guess I forgot. I was feeling pretty bad about it. Like I missed my drive. My last hole was 22, and I was getting pretty nervous about it. Threw a forehand, and kind of the same thing that's been happening to me with forehands lately, where I just like lead with my wrist instead of my elbow, and I just kind of like fluff it, and I hit. All the locals know on that forehand line, if you cut it too tight, there's a tree past the middle tree. I call it the local tree, that if you don't know it's there, you're going to hit it. And I hit that, kind of fell back down the hill a little bit. He put it to like maybe 25 feet. I scrambled for like a 3-footer, and he missed his birdie putt. So we pushed that hole, and I won one up, but not for lack of trying not to win.
Who'd you play with?
Me and Chris Bolton. He had a pretty good match too. He just same thing. Was missing his putts when he needed to make them every now and then. His drive is always getting better, and I think a little bit more just team challenge and understanding how to act in certain situations as far as like your thinking and that kind of stuff is going to go a long way, kind of keeping him in the hunt a little bit longer in his matches.
After you and Corey, you guys are up 3-1 in your 4 matches.
Yep.
Was Jason a response, or did you put him out and they responded?
Jason was put out. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason was put out, so they responded with Blaine.
Blaine Faulkner?
Yeah.
Not of the famous Faulkner family, we don't know.
I mean, he's kind of famous. He's the current MP55 U.S. Masters champion.
All right, so a contemporary, right?
Yeah. So I saw him down at Tim Selinsky in North Carolina when I played down there. So I know him. So when they matched him against me, it was kind of cool because he's like one of the few people, maybe the only person on their team I really know well. But yeah, it was a fun match. I like playing with him. I started off really hot. Like the first 6 holes, I birdied 5 of them and got 4 points up on him. And then we only changed the box once, and it was like halfway through, and he just kind of like got all the wooded holes on me in the woods, got a lot of those birdie holes. And then he ended up getting 1 over on me, pushing us into Dormy on the last hole, which was 29. I ended up beating him on that to tie. So it was a good battle. Played all 18 and basically proved that last cash in MP40 is about the same as the MP55 champ. So
I don't know if we mentioned it. I'm going to take a guess and see if I'm right. Did you guys play East?
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to show that I do remember some things that you guys do East, and then we'll worry about that when we get to it.
Yeah, I also play on a 6'em with Kyle Hirsch and Kenji. And I'm usually always like the first one back to the pavilion. And it was a different experience being the last one back. There's like, I didn't realize how quickly we go through food and stuff because you get back and it's like not the same spread. But it was still a good card. Kyle ended up having a battle with the guy he was against too and came down to the last hole. And did they push too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it came down to the last hole.
I was going to ask because when you total up the score, that total number should equate to half of the amount of people that played, right? So if there's 21 points total, that means 42 people played.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. These are things that I should have put 2 and 2 together a long time ago, but I'm just checking because that includes pushes because there's half a points and this, that, and the other thing. So your card of 6 had 2 pushes, and it looks like Jared beat the father of my former nemesis, who is now my best bud, Kenji.
Kenji had a really tough match. I think it was kind of intentional. He was against one of their top players, and despite that, I mean, he gave him a run because it was a battle for most of the round. I don't remember like all the swings, but I was pretty impressed with Kenji holding his own.
Yeah, looking at the score, this is the first time I thought about it, but when we were trying to figure out cards, I was like, yeah, these 3 will be a good 6-sum. And just like not looking at who you and Kyle were playing, I was just like, yeah, those matches are going to be over quick. And then I couldn't have chosen worse matches to go out as a 6-sum.
Yeah, 2 pushes, so they played all 18, and then the other was just a 3-1. So yeah, everybody on there played almost every hole.
Yeah, you guys played 53 out of a possible 54. No, that's bad math. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. No, yeah, it is. 53 out of 54 possible holes.
It was still pretty quick. Like we were back before noon, I think, and overall went pretty quick. Like all the players on the card were pretty fast players, and yeah, we just got to play the full 18 J East. That's all.
So looks like DisCap is up 14-7 after round 1. Did you guys have any comment about the spread? I mean, it's a home spread, so I didn't know. Was there anything notable?
People were really talking about the baklava.
Yep. Was that Tim that brought that?
I assumed it was Carolyn, but it does sound more like a Tim thing.
Yeah, I don't know why but I just assumed it was Tim. It could have been Carolyn.
That's like a dessert thing?
Yep, it's like crushed pistachios and phyllo dough and honey, essentially.
Okay.
I will never miss up an opportunity to call out Adam Selman's banana bread because that shit slaps.
Super good.
Not a sponsored segment.
I was just wondering if the baklava would be considered gourmet or a delicacy or both.
Oh,
It's
okay.
definitely gourmet.
On this gourmet garbage, all right, I was thinking about it. I was like, why does this word bother me so much? I think it's because it has no hard consonants in it. It's just a terrible word to have to say.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's like blah.
Yeah.
I had a middle school social studies teacher who had a list of words that he absolutely hated. Gourmet was not one of them, but like he hated
Was moist
the word.
one?
No, he didn't like the word chilly to describe the temperature. He said if he heard chilly, he was getting a spoon. He really hated the word breezeway, and there might have been a third one. I'm talking 8th grade, so it's going a long way back. But some words just don't sound right.
Yeah. I really think it's just because none of the word sounds like it's over yet.
All right. So, like I said, you guys are up 14-7. No, it's fine. So 14-7 after one round. That means they need 7 points to tie. But if there were 42 in the first round, did you guys lose somebody? It looks like there's a singles match.
No, it's just 21's an odd number. So since we're doing doubles in the second round, we could either do triples or have a singles.
But see, I thought if there was 21, that'd be 42 people.
It is, but we're playing against each other, so only 21 can.
Oh, you need okay, 4 into 10. Yeah, okay, you need matchups. It's an even number of people, of course, because they each play each other, but it's not an equal number of matchups. See?
Yep, that's a better way to explain that.
Well, I'm a little slow. So, was there thought of trips?
No. So the way the rules are written, the home team has choice in singles and away team has choice in doubles. So the other rule is that teams should try to agree upon what they want to do if there's an odd number of people regarding that scenario of, are you going to play triples or are you going to have a single person go out there? If you do, what are they going to play? Are they going to play match play or singles or whatever? But it's also written that if the teams can't come to a consensus, it's decided by whoever throws it out. Mm-hmm. So essentially it boils down to the away team gets to choose.
Because they go first. So if the first thing they throw out is trips, then you got to match with trips.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those things that it's never came to forcing it. I still ask them. I'm just like, what do you guys want to do? And whatever they say with, I agree with, because it is their right to really decide that.
Okay. So in this case, you knew going into it, we're going to have a situation where we need to figure out singles or triples.
Yep.
Have you ever had a situation where you had to determine, like somebody had to leave or something?
It almost happened for this match, but slightly different. Somebody the morning of was not going to be able to make the second round. So the other team, we were a little bit light on numbers this time. The other team was actually one person more than us, or 2, depending on what the scenario was going to be. So they came with 20 and 2, and we had 18 or 19 and 2. And we had somebody who was only going to be able to be there for the first round. So I let the team know that, we've got somebody who can be there for the first round but can't be there for the second round. And they were like, well, let's have that person play in the morning just so, there are more people playing, and we'll waive the penalty for the second round. Because if you have less people in the second round, there's a penalty to make up that point differential. Because if that wasn't there at 14-7, we could just drop 3 players in the second round and say, okay, good luck getting all those points. There's a lot less points on the board kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's usually a penalty if you have less points in the second round to make that up. So it's not a strategy that anybody ever uses. But also, if anybody ever uses that strategy, they should just get booted out of the league anyways.
No doubt.
But then by the time I got there, the person who could only play in the morning could play both rounds, and it was fine.
Nice. Well, why would they want to waive that penalty?
Because they had a pretty long drive. Well, I guess if they didn't waive the penalty, we just would have had 18-2 both rounds.
Oh, so their other person wouldn't have been able to play in the first round.
Yeah, they would have to sit 2 people both rounds.
Okay, because you guys didn't need to. That's fair. Okay. Now I understand. A lot of these things make sense, but I need spelled out.
No, you're good.
It's all for the listeners. I'm trying to
Yeah,
clarify.
exactly.
There's also like differences between New England and New York, so you could be getting like easily hung up on one or the other. Like that's different than New York.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for the covering me.
Well, for me, it's one thing to read it in the charter, and then it's something else to actually have an example and say, "Oh, okay, this happened, and this is how we handled it." So I'm learning as well.
So one thing, I read the rules for New England, and I think they're different than New York with the triples. I think in New England, you can only do triples if both teams agree before matchups.
Oh, is that new?
It may be.
That's how
something
I read
new.
it as well, because we had the same situation come up at Chainsbury a while back.
Oh,
It's one of those things where there's a contingency for like mixed pairings, where if you throw out a mixed pairing, you have to match the mixed. So it feels like triples is a really similar situation to that. So it feels like they should just be the same rule, but I think they are technically different.
huh.
What's the rule for mixed?
With mixed, it's whoever throws first. If you throw mixed, then the opponent has to match it.
I'm
That makes
pulling the
sense.
rules up. The rule that I'm citing was a rule at some point, but there's a very good possibility that it's long gone.
It wasn't, and that's the rule in New York, which basically copied and pasted.
I was gonna gotcha.
So that's why it stood out to me, is because any of the New England rules that are different than New York, I try to like keep them separate because they're like easy to get mixed up.
Yeah, no, it's right there. You're right. That means I can stop trying to plan for triples.
For anyone who wants to read it themselves, I posted it in the chat.
It's 7.8.
So, Corey, how'd your dubs match go?
Really well. Myself and Jason got matched together.
No, I didn't realize both of you played.
Yeah, I'm sure Corey will leave out a lot of stuff I can pick up.
right.
I don't know that I've ever played doubles with Jason before, like ever.
Ever?
I don't know, maybe at J Park once or twice or something.
Jason, can you dispute that? Do you recall playing doubles with Corey?
I don't recall any time ever playing doubles with Corey.
Maybe on the same card, but not.
Definitely been on the same card
Yeah.
many times, but as partners, I think we were probably in the pools where we wouldn't get teamed up when Jeff was doing ABC.
Good point, too.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
We never like elected to be partners in any event or anything. So yeah, I don't think we ever have been partners until Saturday.
They look like they were the last match. How'd that work out?
I'm looking at it. Not too much. Just I think they're going to play really well together. They're both strong players. They both know J Park really well on their own. It's just kind of with this match having a few less of the regulars that we always have. It kind of threw the doubles groupings that I've been using kind of into disarray, but it worked out pretty good in general. I think I learned a lot about doubles pairings, and Jason had a lot of insights into them, which I think are going to be super helpful.
Was there something going on this weekend that made it to where you had fewer than normal?
No, just adults adulting. Everybody's got a lot of stuff, and it's kind of hard to keep track of your own schedule sometimes. So I think that just had a bunch of people with things that they didn't remember or account for.
When Jaimen had put us on paper to be doubles partners, I was thinking like originally Corey and I have very similar styles. Like we're both predominantly backhand, and a lot of other things are kind of similar. So I wasn't sure how it would work out, but I think it actually worked out better than I thought, because we were kind of on the same wavelength the whole time. When we step up to a shot, like we were both looking at the same windows to hit, the same kind of angles. And so it was pretty clear, like I think the whole time Corey, correct me if I'm wrong, but like we knew which law we wanted to take almost immediately.
Yeah.
Or if like I was playing with somebody that complemented my style more, like with a forehand dominant, there might be more like negotiation of like, well, all right, how confident you can hit that gap versus how confident I can hit this gap. And so we kind of just got into a pretty good groove, and there was definitely some good putts made. Corey hit like this huge, almost basically throw in on hole 10. So, I mean, like, just get that birdie and just get the momentum going. We were getting like so many birdies that it was just like, all right, how many pars are we going to get? That's pretty much all we were focusing on.
Yeah. We kind of demoralized the other team pretty quickly. I mean, we had 5 birdies before they got their first one, and we went bogey free, and they only bogeyed hole 36, which even in doubles is still a tough par. But yeah, we really kind of spanked those guys, and it got to the point to where they were like, we don't even care anymore. We want to see you guys keep birdieing.
You beat them so hard they became your fans.
It was funny. Damn it. What happened during a round where he said he wanted to take a picture of it and his phone died right when he...
Oh, his disc fell down in this like deep chasm on hole 36.
Yeah, so on hole 36, he we're looking for his disc and ended up being literally 5 feet down into a crack of a rock. And it was 4 holes before that where he coin slotted his disc underneath another rock on hole 31, kind of on the right side of the basket, near-ish to 32's tee pad. But we were looking for his disc again over there for a little bit, and he's coin slotted it. So he's finding himself in some pretty J Park locations.
What do you play round 2, West?
South. The best layout in J Park. That's 18 holes, because everyone knows J27 is the best layout.
Mm-hmm. It's the only one I know. That one I could do blind, and obviously we all know Evan. That's the only one he knows. So
Womp womp.
Womp womp. So you guys ended up at 46, which looks like it's the hot round. That's Peter Hodge and Dave Koch. Did they get a 47 or is that a 49, Jaimen, with your fine tip pen?
49.
Okay.
I've got a comment on Peter Hodge when we get to a spot for it.
Uh-oh, scandalous.
This sounds like a perfect spot for it. What do you got?
So, beginning of the season, like prior to anything, we were talking to a couple of people who said they couldn't really commit to a full season, but they would be available to sub for us. Peter Hodge is one of those people who said he would sub for Stonykillers if we needed somebody. So I think whoever got him to join up with the DisCaptains for this one didn't explain to him that he couldn't also sub for Stonykillers if he did this.
Damn.
I mean, I don't know who specifically did this, Jaimen. But,
well, first of all, Jaimen, is this Peter Hodge's first year on the team?
This is his first match. Yeah, Peter was filling in for us.
Okay, so in his defense, it's like, hey, he probably put feelers out to both teams, and he went with the first team. Asked him.
Yeah, that's essentially.
I mean, we went to him, if I remember correctly. So
He's got good taste.
This is a classic Alex, too, where he's like, oh, damn it, I was going to pick that guy.
The thing is, we actually did pick that guy. He just, just didn't end up working out. And to be clear, I'm not seriously mad about this. It's just, it happened to be an unfortunate setup for us.
No, I understand. I did not consider that at all. I've actually talked to a lot of people about subbing for us for that match and had several no's just because they were busy and stuff.
Yeah, no worries. Even going back a couple of years, we were telling Dave Hudson that he had to lock down Kyle Hirsch. We're going back 2-3 years at this point. So, it's a little bit frustrating to have a couple of players go to the wrong team.
Well, we can start trading off names if you want to, Alex, but
what you need to do, Alex, is offer 15 years, $765 million.
Bingo.
There you go.
Then he'll go to the D pool as opposed to the C pool,
after this result, it might not be C pool versus D pool for very long. But
that's foreshadowing. We're not there yet. No, geez. Jason and Corey, anything else on your match?
No, yeah. So we finished 13 down, and we were feeling pretty good about it. And then I'm pretty sure it was Jason that thought about it first. He's like, "Oh, we were planning on coming back and kind of not bragging, but then we remember that Mucelli was there, and he literally went 14 down during singles in Paint Bureau Pro League. So bragging to Justin about our measly 13 down in doubles didn't sound so hot anymore.
It'd be cool if whoever did this whiteboard had the par for the Dubs match, but that's
yeah, right.
Honestly, somebody asked me the part at one point. I gave them the wrong one because I forgot about the new holes.
So we talked about trips versus singles. Why did you decide on Greg Kurtz for singles?
Greg is a strong player who knows that course better than anybody else.
All right.
There you go.
That's a good answer.
I feel like that's the main thought with that. And then the other part was we're up by 7. I don't think that point's going to matter too much.
Mhm.
Greg he's somebody who has a freaking blast out there. So, go have a blast out there, Greg, and then eat all the cookies when you get back.
There you go.
And it looks like you, Jaimen, were matched up with 2024 MP40 Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year, Brian Bickersmith.
Yep.
How'd that go?
That went well. The guys we were playing with were just kind of, they weren't really doing anything too great. They bogeyed a couple of holes. I feel like they tied us up at one point, but I could be totally wrong about that. At least they got one stroke on us at one point. I can say that much. I think we just kind of like coasted. What was our first hole? It's right there. Oh, I erased it. Oh, it was 34. We birdied that one. And then I don't think we ever gave up the lead. Might have got it back to tied, but I don't even think it got back to tied. I think we were always like 1 or 2 up on them. Just kind of coasted a little bit. Super nice guys, but they didn't do too much to scare us throughout the round.
All right. So it looks like they only got one match in doubles, 19-2, for a total of DisCaptains 33, Queen City 9. That puts you both teams, Queen City and DisCap, at 2-1, but also Tank and Devil's Grove are at 2-1. But according to this, if this is accurate, you guys are up pretty solidly, like 7 points in the percentage in first place.
Yeah, so that's nice. We're in first right now. Looking at those teams that are 2-1, the story's not quite that. So we've had 2 home matches and 1 away. Devils has had 2 home and 1 away. Queen has had 2 home matches and 1 away. Tank has had 1 home match and 2 away. So their 2-1 is slightly more impressive.
Yeah, and they're in second place. So,
Yep.
Okay. I mean, as far as points percentage. So, Daisy and Rhode Island are 1-1. Bellamy and Borderlands 0-2.
Yep.
Who is your next opponent?
Our next opponent is Daisy. They're coming to us. I was going to ask Alex for some info on them, but I think he's going to stonewall me on that one.
after the Peter Hodge fiasco. No, I got nothing off the top of my head, but I can share my stuff from last year.
And it looks like Rhode Island will be playing Daisy. The 2 1-1 teams will be playing this weekend.
Yep.
So you'll know
the
whether
14th.
they're 1-2 or 2-1.
Yep. And then Borderland is at Bellamy. They're the team that lost to Tank at home. So, Bellamy is a very hard course to win away at. So they have a very real chance of going 0-3 to start the season, which is, that's when the alarm bells kind of start going off.
So that match at Daisy, that's not until the end of January. There's no like floater match in between?
Nope. We scheduled our neutral match for March 1st. We finally got that locked down.
Okay. Any other comments on the match?
No, it was a good match. I feel like the team's really been coming together. We got a great group of people this year. It's a lot of really exciting stuff to, build on and keep pushing forward. Being in first place in this division after the first 3 matches is pretty excellent. And we were, pretty close to being the only team that's 3-0 if we had a little bit, a few shots go our way back at Devil's Grove. So I'm really happy with how we're doing so far. 1 more home match to kind of pad that points percentage, and then we're off on the road for the last 3 matches. So that's going to really, give us a chance to test our season.
All right. Jason, I know you got to get going soon. Was there anything that you wanted to mention? Anything with sweatshirts? Is that everything going good there?
So the sweatshirts were all made and shipped to my house. They came out great. The logo is super big on the back and the detail is like super fine. Way more than I thought it was going to be. You can see every single detail I made on there. So Mike Schwartz came to my house on Sunday, and we packaged up all the hoodies. They're all in the mail, either UPS or USPS. I did order some extras, so Mike put those on the DisCap store. I think we've already sold like another 10, but if you haven't got one and you want to get it, there's a limited supply on DisCap's website. After that, there's going to be no more, just kind of a one-time run. But appreciate everybody that bought one. It's helping to raise money for Mindkill, the A-tier next year. And thanks. That's all I got.
So I was confused. I thought it said something about shipping would be a different charge, but then there was shipping when I ordered it. Is that enough to cover it?
Yeah, there was a flat, I think, $10 shipping and handling fee, which covers the shipping, the materials for shipping. Yeah. And we basically put that on everybody because with that many orders, it could get really, like when I did the discs, I had like a local pickup option, and that took me months to resolve because it's just crazy.
Oh, it's miserable.
100%.
Yeah.
No.
So it worked out. Like we just basically everybody had to pay for shipping and simplified things. Just basically took us all of Sunday morning to package them all up, and they're out. And then if we get any more orders now, I'll just do them one by one. But yeah, so I think if we were to do it again, I like how that kind of worked out. And doing it on the DisCap store is nice too. Mike's been a lot of help, and Earl and the other people at DisCap been kind of keep me up to speed with what's going on with the sales and stuff. So I really appreciate everybody that's helped with this. Yeah, I'm glad I did order extras because at first it's inventory. So the more extras I get, that's going to cut into whatever funds we raise. And then also I have to keep that inventory, which is never fun. But yeah, I got a bunch of extras just because I thought maybe, and I'm glad I did because after we had posted that they arrived, I got all sorts of messages from different people. So yeah, if anybody got one and they want to get another one, they're available online.
Did you play at the Wilcox tournament this weekend?
I didn't. I was signed up and dropped out because we got the hoodies, and I got to play around on Saturday. I figured I would sit out on Sunday, and glad I did because we got everything done. And Jess got to play around at Greenville too, which is nice.
That's cool. Anything else?
No, if you guys get to it, looking forward to listening to it on Friday. And good
Awesome.
talking to you.
There, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
All right. Thanks, Pat.
Take it easy. All right. Before we get to Stonekill, there was another D-pool match. Wedge played Is it Chainsbury? I see Chains.
Chainsbury, yep.
Looks like they beat Chainsbury 19-17. That's a pretty tight
sounds
one.
pretty close. Yeah.
But it looks like it's Wedge's first win of the year. Puts them at 1-2. I know they lost to Stonykillers. I don't know who else they played. Do you know, Alex?
If I can click on the right tab, I will eventually be able to tell you. Yeah, Oak Ridge. They had Oak Ridge at home, and they lost that one, unfortunately.
The Oak Ridge boys. All right. Where was that? At Oak Ridge or at home?
At Wedge.
At FDR.
So they've had 3 matches, all 3 at home?
No, their first match was
was at Stonykillers. See, I think Stonykillers, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all right, so
I get you.
You guys played Team Devons at Devons. Before we get to the actual match, Randy's not going to be able to make it, so fortunately we have Alex. How much did it bother you that they added an E to Stonykillers?
It was a little bit annoying, but I honestly didn't even notice it at first. Their captains pointed it out after it had been written on the board, and then nobody fixed it. So I don't know what their plan was there, but yeah, it wasn't something I was stressing about.
Stoney makes you think more like you guys are stoners. I don't know why, but
it's not the worst assumption when you come to a bunch of disc golfers, but yeah.
Isn't that the dude from Friday's name, Stoney? Or am I wrong?
I don't know.
Chris Tucker? No, anybody know?
Smokey.
Okay. Smokey, thank you. Thanks. See, Evan, that's 2 reasons. Mets and
I'm here for
clarifying my pot humor. Okay.
Movie references are a strong suit for sure.
Exactly. So you guys coming in 2-0.
Coming in 2-0, coming in hot off of a very tight win at Chainsbury that ended with a walk-off ace in a final playoff by Randy. So that was a super cool.
So 1 home, 1 away, 2-0.
Yep.
How did matchups go?
Just to back up a little bit, because I had to make a note of their spread. In addition to lunch stuff, they told us ahead of time that they would have pancakes and bacon going on a little Blackstone griddle. So they had some breakfast foods going on, which is always a bonus to the spread. And on a particularly cold morning, the bacon fresh off the grill was very good. Then going into matchups, we had a few less people than we'd like. We unfortunately ran into a couple of issues where we didn't have the calzadas, which is a bit of a loss. We didn't have, a couple other people there. And we almost lost a couple more people because somebody had some extra work that they had to pick up going in. So we were rolling 17-2, which, it's okay. It's above minimums, which is always good. But generally, you want to put up a little bit of a better showing with the people you can travel with. But the people who did travel were all good players, and so you can't complain too much. Overall, we didn't really have a good feeling for the course. I don't think any of us were able to make it up and practice which was unfortunate because I think that really would have helped us on this course. I think it's something Jaimen had said earlier, where if we could have gone up and practiced, we probably should have. But yeah, unfortunately, just worked out that nobody was really able to get up there. So we were kind of going in blind in matchups, just trying to get the best matchups we could, best pairings. If we're throwing out somebody, we want to throw out somebody who plays above their rating or is otherwise a wild card, that sort of thing. Going down the list, it didn't feel like anyone was particularly outmatched or anything crazy there. So we didn't know exactly how things were going to pan out, but we felt pretty good about it.
How'd your first round match go?
Not too bad. Like I said, I definitely would have benefited from a couple of practice rounds. There were certain holes that it just felt like, you're just kind of throwing and hoping. I want to say it's hole 7 on the hill where you're throwing from the old foundation of a radio tower. And we were playing to silver, which is completely blind. You have no idea where the basket is. Luckily, the Devons players were all very good about, helping you find the basket and everything. So that was nice of them for sure. But yeah, a couple of holes where it's just like very confusing or not really sure what you're doing. I just happened to get really lucky on that hole and put myself to 25 feet on a nice forehand line. So that one was nice. But going through that hill layout, the silver hill layout, there's like 4 or 5 holes that are under 150 feet. And I think I birdied one of them off a 60-foot putt. And so that was sort of how my round was going. And the only thing that was saving me was that my opponent was playing just as poorly. Missed a couple of 10, 15 footers, just simple stuff that if we played that match 10 times, he probably wins, 6, 7, 8 times out of 10. But I just happened to roll high and get the good result for Stonykillers. The other player on my card was Eric Fitz. He's a pretty forehand dominant player, and luckily the hill works out to be pretty forehand friendly or lefty friendly. So that ended up working out pretty nicely for him, and he was able to take down his match as well. So we were coming in feeling really good with 2 points on our card, and as the names started to come in, it just started looking better and better. I don't think there are any like major upsets that happened either way, but a couple of 50-50s that could have gone either way ended up going our way.
Other winners: Chad Larson, Cat Bemis got a win. Randy Bemis, he's not here. I wonder why he's not here. Looks like he lost one up. Is that Nick Warren who beat Luke A?
Correct, yep.
Patreon Nick Warren smoking Luke A one up.
Oh, there was at least one good jump up. Connor Eckert on our squad definitely played up to push with their Cam Burns, maybe? Cam B. But he played well and he was able to push there. But that half point ended up mattering quite a bit. So yeah, it worked out nicely for us.
It looks like, is that 11.5 to 7.5 after one round?
11.5 to 7.5, correct. So 11.5 to 7.5 is big for a couple of reasons. First up, because we got a 4-point lead in an away match, which is not unheard of, but it's definitely a powerful showing. You're rolling into another team's course and beating them in singles effectively, which is, it's not common. And then the other thing was, because we had that half point, it meant if we won 8 points in doubles, so that's 4 wins in doubles, that's a win overall.
And you're not going to have odd. You're not going to have a triples or a singles, right?
There was an odd number. We had 17 and 2, which is 19 points available overall. So we did have a singles.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Now I see it. Luke and Billy A.
Yeah. But then again, because of how those singles worked out, that singles completely did not matter.
Okay.
Yeah, no matter what, if we won 4 doubles, then we'd be winning. If we won 3 doubles and a singles, we'd lose. If we won 4 doubles and a singles, that doesn't change it. If we had the 4 doubles, it wouldn't end up mattering. So that's another thing to keep track of for anyone doing matchups in the future is, does the odd number matter?
Right, because they would have needed 12 points to beat you guys, so they would have had to win 6.
Yeah.
So how was the spread?
Spread was good. In addition to the bacon and pancakes that they were doing in the morning, they had a couple other things going, bunch of different crock pots, bunch of different mac and cheese style things. They had somebody ordered pizza, which it's a little bit of a weak choice when you're thinking, people are bringing homemade food and things like that. But it wasn't a bad pizza. And, I still ate some of it.
But that's like, if it's the early morning and somebody brings the Dunkin' Donuts box of Joe, that guy's a fucking hero. I mean, all they did was spend money and make a quick stop. But, so
it's still important to have for sure.
Or for Corey, if somebody brings, what's it called, Corey?
PBR?
Tomato pie.
Tomato pie, yes. If
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
brings tomato pie, they didn't make it. They picked it up from whatever hillbilly pizza place that you have wherever you're from. Bakery. Oh, is that a bakery item?
It is if you're from Rhode Island. They call it bakery pizza.
You wouldn't get that at a pizza place?
I'd have to look to see what else they usually sell, but it's usually more like the place that I go to also sells like other kinds of bread and like maybe like sausage and shit. Not like your typical like pizza joint.
I just assumed that would be a pizza place type of item.
Nah, it's not pizza. So.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm sorry, Alex. I interrupted your spread talk. What do you got?
That was the big thing. They also had hot cider, which is always good because I don't drink coffee, so having a hot drink that I drink is always good.
Have you had coffee?
I have had coffee, and it is not.
Have you had Stewart's coffee afternoon, as Jaimen would say? Because that's not good.
I have had coffee on several different occasions. Sometimes I was told it was good. Sometimes I was told it was not good coffee. All of the times I did not like it. It was solid spread overall. No complaints. Everybody left well fed. So, yeah, everything good there. There was some discussion going in because I don't know how meta we want to get into matchups, but as Jaimen has said in the past, if there's an even number of matches versus an odd number of matches, there's a correct choice as to whether you want to throw or respond first, because at the end you could theoretically get, it's not actually 2 responses in a row, but because you know they'll only have one team left and you'll have one team left, you'll end up getting to set up both of those final matchups. And we would have to choose to respond in order to do that. But if we did that, they would have the opportunity to throw a mixed pair, which we would then have to match. And we thought our ladies matchup was a better matchup than any combination of mixed matchups that we could put out there. So we had to make a decision there. We ended up deciding to throw first and throw out our ladies first to force that. But everything else along the way, we were just kind of focused on getting 4 wins in doubles. We were hoping our ladies would win there, but put together a whole bunch of good teams, as many good teams as we could, and try and get those 4 wins, which, on paper, it seemed like we were going to do well. We're starting to settle into our pairings a little bit. Yeah, it's stuff like Chad and Nick played very well at Chainsbury, so we wanted to keep them together. We had to switch up the classic Randy and Tyler Calzada pairing because Tyler Calzada wasn't there. So we were able to put him with Andrew Dorrell, who he played with at Stonekill for the Scramble a while back. That was a good matchup there. Yeah, overall feeling pretty good going into the actual matchups themselves, actual doubles play.
You put out Kat and Mindy. They put out Toomey and Christina.
Yeah, Ashley Toomey, one of their captains. Yep.
Were you a response or were you a put out?
We tend to throw me out as a blind, as in throw as opposed to a respond. And, it tends to work out a lot of the times at Stonekill. Randy was talking a while back that he gives me bonus points when we were playing against him.
You're like a 950 Stonykiller.
Exactly. So I think I am one of the players on the Stonykillers that plays above their rating. So throwing that out as, a blind, if they're just going off the ratings, then they're probably going to be thrown off a little bit. So that's generally how we end up doing those.
Who did you play with?
Played with Joe Jelinas. He is somebody I've played with a lot. Somebody I played with at Chainsbury, and we played really hot. So that was a good one. I was in favor of going back to Sam because I like playing with Sam. But with this course specifically, we thought that having like a strong left hand, backhand, or forehand setup would be better for matchups. So we ended up switching Sam over to Eric, who he played with before, and sticking me with Jelly because Jelly's a left-handed player.
Eric is the guy you played with in round 1, right?
Yes, Eric was on the card in round 1. Yep, and so I had a little bit of a scout there, and Eric it started off a little bit slow, but ended up playing pretty hot. Like I said, I think it's a pretty lefty/forehand friendly course. And this second layout that they had us play, it was like League Mix 2 or something like that, incorporates some of the General, which is the other course on that location.
The one that's sponsored by Shaq? And nobody?
Yeah,
anybody?
I
the General? So. Come on.
No, I'm with you. The trivia that the other team was telling us in round 2 was that the General was designed by a left-handed player.
Oh, like Long Island, which was Ernie who just threw out discs and put baskets where they landed. Okay, yeah, okay.
Nice. Yeah. So that was something that, we wanted to keep in mind, was have a lefty or forehand player on as many cards as possible to, to even those things out.
Off the top of your head, in a given match, how many do you have?
So Joe and Eric are probably our top ones. I know JP has a pretty strong forehand. Steve Tiska is a pretty forehand dominant player. I think those are the ones that really stick out. And there's a couple of people who are really good touchy in the woods with understable discs, like Joe Jaskolka, who we can also put together there.
All right.
Yeah. So really early on in our match, to get into the actual play, we both parred 18 and then went to hole 1, which is a relatively straight shot. You're throwing at a basket on a hill, which is 90% of the holes at Devon's. But we gave ourselves probably a 25-footer downhill. We went just past the basket and a little bit right. And, I stepped up first and putted and whiffed on everything, and it rolled away to like 60 feet. And we're all joking like, oh, well, that's why it's doubles. And we know Jelly's got the left-handed putt, which will crash into the hill as opposed to away from the hill like mine did. And of course, he tickles chains, hits ground right behind the basket, and it stands up and rolls to exactly the same spot mine was. So instead of making that birdie putt, we took a 4 on that hole. And it turned out that ended up being the the decider overall. We stuck with him pretty much the entire way. We bled a couple of strokes and then got a couple back towards the end, ended up losing by 2. And the whole time we're just feeling like we were playing like absolute trash. We were missing all our most of our tester putts. We were, not getting birdies on short holes that easily could be birdies. And so we're feeling awful the whole time. And then as we come in and we start seeing the other scores that are coming in, we're like, okay, well, I guess 49 wasn't that bad of a score because, a couple of the people on the other team beat it, but only one team on our side was able to beat a 49. So, it felt awful. So I wonder how we would have done on another day when we were playing a little bit better.
Looks like Chad Larson and Nick Warren were also victims of the exact same score.
Yeah, a couple of them. There was 3 47-49s.
John H. and Joe J.
Yeah, that's John, Josh, Hafner, and right. Joe Jaskolka. Yeah.
So wow, that's fucked up. 3 47-49s is fucked up. I mean,
and it's so easy to point to that one hole as what could have gone better if we had made that putt. But really, there were so many opportunities that we had across the course that we just, squandered. That's a little bit frustrating. But we knew we only had to win 4. And we knew we were one of the teams that were, thrown out first. So we were hoping our responses would be able to clean up a little bit.
Well, Max H. and Dave H., they got a 49 and they won.
Yep. They were able to take that one down.
Andrew and Randy, is that Doral?
Yes. Yep.
They got a 48 and they won. So that's something.
Yeah. As things started to come in, we were starting to feel pretty good about things. Eric and Sam came in with a win after a 2-hole playoff, which is awesome. Andrew and Randy came in as a win. Billy came in as a win. So we're all sitting around the thing, and eventually, as I'm writing down our scores, somebody says to mark down Luke and Kevin as a win. Somebody on their side. I'm not sure who exactly said it. Somebody said mark them down as a win.
Okay.
So they did. They marked it down as a win. So we're sitting there celebrating. Like it's, we got our 9 points. We're winning. We got there. We're all cold and we just want to get out of here. I don't think anyone had actually left yet, but after, 15 minutes, half an hour even, I walk back over to the board and I see that they had erased that score. And I'm like, what happened there? Apparently, someone had said to mark it down, but it hadn't actually finished yet. So it was a little bit weird.
A little premature jocularity. That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently it was, reports from the field were that somebody on their squad had hurt themselves and wasn't playing hot. And Luke and Kevin were playing pretty well. So the thought was it was likely a win, but it wasn't actually confirmed yet. And of course they were on the sixsome with the single squad. So we were sitting there forever waiting for them to come in the cold, and we're not doing anything, picking at the last bits of the spread. But finally, I texted the group. I'm like, hey, any reports out there for anything? And finally they start walking back, and they text back and they said they won. So it was there, but it was a little bit stressful for that. After the initial celebration and waiting for the official score to come in, that was a bit stressful. But in the end, we got there.
So you had them 11.5 to 7.5 in singles. They got you 10 to 9 in doubles, but 20.5 to 17.5 overall.
Yep, won by enough in singles that we could lose by 1 in doubles and still get there.
All right, so that puts you guys at 3-0, but because last week was a tie, but you got the win, percentage points, you're down by 0.48% behind the Diamonds. Who are the Diamonds?
Yeah.
Have you played them yet?
That is Maple Hill Diamonds. They are one of the more star-studded squads in Deep Pool. I want to say they've been flying up from play-in pool or wherever they ended up starting. They've been moving up pretty consistently. So we knew they were going to be a strong squad, and they also came off a away win this past month. They played the same day we did, and they ended up beating Crane Toads at their place. So things are really shaping up for our home match against them at the end of January.
You got them at home. All right. Is that your next match?
That's our next match. We've got them at home, which should be an advantage for us. It's going to be a tough one.
What's the date on that?
The 25th, January 25th.
Again, you guys have the same date as the DisCaptains, right? You guys also, Jaimen, play on the 25th?
Yep.
All right. So I got the Diamonds and Stonykillers at 3-0, Newton Hill and Oak Ridge at 1-1, Crane Toads, Wedge, and Devons at 1-2, and Chainsbury at 0-3. So Wedge lost the home match, but they're still totally in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 1-1 in home matches and 1 loss on the road. Yeah, so they have 1 more home match that can get them to 2 wins, and then they got to win 1 on the road to get to 3-3.
Yeah, and then they've got a neutral against Devons, which is not unwinnable for them.
Absolutely. So it looks like 3 and 4 might get them in the finals. 3 and 4 also, if they don't get in the finals, is a safe bet as far as non-relegation.
Yeah, 3 and 4, you're feeling okay about not falling back.
All right.
But yeah, I think a lot is going to shape up off this next match, Stonykillers versus the Diamonds. If we can keep up this form that we've been in, if we can take this one down, then I think we're very, very solid for a playoff berth. And that might end up throwing some things off as far as who else is making playoffs. Because if you've got like a 6-1 team and a 7-0 team, or 2 6-1s or whatever it ends up being, that really makes some weird numbers for what the final 2 playoff teams are going to be, because you might end up with a 3 and 4 in playoffs off something like that, because with so many wins going to those specific teams, you're going to have some weird numbers for whoever else has wins left.
Yeah, both DisCap and Stonykillers don't play until January 25th.
Plenty of disc golf in between now and then. A couple of monthlies, a couple of New York Team Challenge matches. A lot of stuff to keep us busy.
So Wilcox Wonderland 2024 Tournament Director Adam Babbitt, Assistant Tournament Director, Patreon member Nick Warren. 71 total players. Women's Amateur 3 was won by Jody McGuire, who took it by 2 strokes over Cynthia Jackman. In the Mixed Amateur 3 division, Devin Lamke beat Matt Roush and Daniel Cheatham by 5 strokes. Fiorella Nicolai beat Sherry Purdy to win FA2 Women's Amateur 2. MA2 Mixed Amateur 2 division was won by Michael Marvin, who beat Ross O'Toole by 3 strokes. MA50 was won by Greg Keys, who beat Steve Rush and David Cliffon. MA40, Craig Fulcher won by 3 strokes over Michael Smith, and Bobby Kelly and Daniel McGuire tied a stroke behind Michael. FA1 Women's Amateur 1, Megan Mercier won that division over Olivia Pine and Kristen McDonald. MA1, with a score of even par, Nick Warren is your winner. Beat Anthony Sampo by 2 strokes and Jackson Quinn by 3. And Alex's favorite, Jeremy Cashbrook, by 4. And in the MPO division, Caitlin Clay played MPO. What the heck?
Whenever there's nobody in her division, Kate plays MPO.
Corey, how was your day?
Kind of had high hopes just because, Wilcox is kind of it's a great course to play. Lucked out and got put on a threesome round 1. So I played with Justin Mucelli all day, Sunday as well. The layout was kind of like a safari-esque, where it was a mixture of like long tee to short baskets, short tees to long baskets, some regular short holes. So the rounds played a little longer than if we had just played all shorts. I think we started a little late for what was planned, and it just kind of felt like throughout the day, like I wasn't sure if we were going to have enough time to finish the entire tournament before I started getting too dark.
Does something like that affect your play?
Not normally. I wouldn't say that I rushed, but I'm definitely not like a slow player, but I feel like I was rushing a bit more than normal this tournament, expecting that other people would be too, just because there was such a hard time constraint. And not so much a hard time constraint. They were saying that we had to be out of the park by 4:00, but that didn't end up being the case. I just know I did not want to play in the dark, so I wasn't going to be a reason why we were going to have to. It was already kind of sketchy out there because Wilcox isn't really flat anywhere, so mixing that like hilly topography plus the coverage of snow that was there was like, you got to make some sketchy stances as well. So I didn't want to have to like make some walk down a hill in the dark and the slippery snow on the side of these hills. So I was playing a little quicker than maybe normal. But yeah, I had like an okay-ish round one. Didn't do anything crazy. I got the CTP on hole 9 after like skipping. I guess this is probably worth bringing up. So MPO CTP, there's 2 of them. One of them was hole 9. There's an OB stream that's like short of the basket, and then OB road like long to the left. I throw my shot. It skips off the bridge that crosses the OB stream, hits the embankment inbounds, and then bounces in the water. It's a CTP hole. So I did what I thought was the most, honest thing to do, for lack of a better term. I marked the CTP like where my disc hit the embankment before it like fell OB, instead of pulling a move where, like other tournaments where someone might have been thrown OB and then marked the CTP where they marked their lie 3 feet off the OB line.
Like we talked about that with a pro tournament not too long ago, right?
Yeah, it was 501 tournament.
Okay, thank you.
I think it was the 501 tournament.
Yeah, now wait a second. I didn't understand that you marked it where it hit in bounds before it rolled out of bounds.
Well, it didn't really roll out of bounds. So like,
it just popped back.
Well, no, it like hit the embankment and then dropped in the water.
Yeah. All right.
Right there.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, like, I'm imagining, like, let's say your CTP was on hole 18. If you hit it the basket, then rolled out of bounds all the way down that hill, you wouldn't mark it where it hit.
No.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it didn't really change anything. It was still the same spot. All
yeah.
right.
Like I would have put the flag right in the stream, but if it was a taller flag, or I thought that people would have noticed it, but I didn't want to get the bag all wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had to convince my carmates too. I played with Justin Muccelli, and I played with Azariah, who Cadret is what's his last name? Cartret.
Yeah.
Who I learned is also a fellow bullfrog putter. And he's got some clean bullfrogs.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
They're just not dirty?
He's got new bullfrogs, and Innova kind of changed up their font, and it's like this blocky, like simple text. Makes them look real clean. Yeah, and then the lunch break went way too late, and I feel like we started an hour and a half after schedule. So then I was really thinking that we weren't gonna finish on time, especially since we got put in a 5-sum. So I played a 3-sum the first round and waited every single hole. Like there's a backup like on every hole for us, basically. And then we played round 2 as a 5-sum, and I thought, at least we won't be waiting at every hole. Nope, we still waited on half the holes. But it was a kind of a fun discap card, +1. So it was myself, Justin Muccelli, Jason Gorsage, Tower Power, Caitlin Clay, 2024 Hudson Valley Disc Golf Player of the Year, FPO, and John Hafner on a 5-sum playing round 2. Justin kind of clawed his way back. I did 1 stroke worse. We didn't finish in the dark, and yeah, it was fun. I think I went +1, +2, and averaged like 935 for the tournament.
What were you thinking, like, going in? Did you have a score in mind?
Not necessarily a score, because I had never played the layout like that. And to be honest, I haven't really played the red tees on any of the holes in a long time, just because every time I play Wilcox, we're playing the blue tees. But I was trying to play at least my rating, preferably higher, but fell quite a bit short of that. So, whoops. But my one goal was to not eat shit in the snow, and I did not fall once.
I dig it. John JP, not Josh Hafner, shot an even par, 959, 939. Azariah Cartret, who you mentioned earlier, shot -2 for the tournament, ended up in 5th place. Justin Muccelli shot a -5, got $70, ended up in 4th place. Alden Slack in 3rd place at -8. Jaimen, how about your round?
So I played pretty well. I was nervous about my putting after missing all of my putts for most of Saturday, but I was able to just, get a solid amount of practice in when we got there in the morning, and just really kind of honed in on the basket. Like, my outstanding stat for myself for the day was every time I had like a death putt, I made it. And so I think I finished 6 down on the first round and 5 down on the second round. And 5 of those birdies came from like absolute death putts, because there's a lot of them at Wilcox, and I don't know what got into me, but every time I stepped up to one, I just felt like I was going to make it, and I was able to keep that going all day. So I was right. I didn't have the feeling that so many people have after tournaments of, oh man, I shouldn't have ran that one putt or whatever. For one tournament out of the 16 or however many I played this year, I don't have that feeling. But no, I played super well. My drives were letting me down a little bit towards the end of the day. I think 4 rounds of golf in December is not the best recipe for longevity, but I was able to kind of keep that at bay as best as I could. Duncan and I had a really great battle going down all the way to the last hole. He had me by a couple of strokes. After 16, I just kind of messed up an approach shot for a very easy birdie, which kind of had me kicking myself. But 17, I put it like 30 feet behind the basket, made one of those death putts, and he kind of had trouble getting up and down. So he took a 4 on that hole, and I took a 2 to tie it up going into 18. And then just on 18, my drives weren't really working as well as they needed to. So I landed in a spot where birdie was kind of out of the question. Still tried for it, got myself to like 60 feet, and then, gave it a hero bid, but didn't make that birdie putt. And he had a much easier time birdieing that hole, which he did. It was a great battle all day. I played with him both rounds. I played with Alden Slack both rounds, which was super nice. Don't get a whole lot of time playing with him, so that was definitely a treat. And then first round, I played with JP, which also I don't play with very often. And then second round, I played with Azariah. He was the 4th person on the lead card. And even though CTK is his home course, I've never played disc golf with him. So that was kind of cool. And also, it was his first lead card ever. So he was definitely feeling the jitters. You could kind of see it in his play. He was nervous. He was trying for things he probably shouldn't be. But I think he's been playing tournaments for 2 years. So this is just the tip of the iceberg for him. It's going to be cool to see how he does.
So Duncan Farquharson, best name in the Hudson Valley, got you by 1 stroke.
Yep.
Is this an event that might have to be added to the Player of the Year next year? What do you guys think?
It could be. It's centrally located. I would say it's a totally different animal than the WoW, but
I mean, it's not unheard of for one location to have 2 events. Just makes me think I might have to start doing it in January. Damn. But all right, it's something to keep an eye on, and we'll go over it next year. But so congratulations, Duncan Farquharson, only because I like saying the name again. But Jaimen, you had a win earlier, right? And then you got 5 points. So not for nothing. Yep. Evan, are you guys at home next weekend?
Yes, we are at home. We have CPS coming to town. They are our unscheduled match this year, and coincidentally, both teams had a bye in December, so Kevin and Dave agreed to do it on the second Saturday to stay in line with the schedule. The roster rules are different. I think the minimum is 11-2, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll see where we come in with that as the week progresses.
All right, well, so let's start with that one. Evan, who's winning, CPS at Tower Power?
Well, it's hard not to pick us, but they're a great team, and we played them last year. It would be an absolute, real big upset. So I abstain. I'll pick us. It's a huge upset, but I wouldn't bet my mortgage payment on it.
It's the bank's problem at that point.
Alex, CPS Tower Power.
Yeah, same sort of feeling, but I luckily don't have any captaincy over Tower Power. I got to go with CPS. I got to go with the safe bet on this one.
Jaimen?
CPS beat Mindkill at home. I think that they're going to take you guys, but they will be impressed by your spread.
Corey, no pressure, but you're undefeated.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I can't chance ruining it, so I got to go with with Vegas on this one, and I'm going to take CPS.
All right, well, back to you. We're going to go reverse order as to what I have them written down. Wrenches at the north. Who are you taking, Corey?
Got to go with my wrenches. Going to torque them down up there real tight.
Jaimen, J Park Wrenches at the north.
I do think the fact that the wrenches probably couldn't even point to Hartford, New York on a map might help the north a little bit, but I still think that, being that J Park is their home, they know how to scramble. And from what I understand, there's a lot of woods golf at the Hartford course, so I think that they're still going to get it.
I will say though, well, I guess this could go either way. I'll just say if J Park loses there, it won't be my fault because I have officially signed up for the double basket doubles tournament. But you could also say that if they lost, that it was my fault.
You're not playing?
So either way, no, I have officially signed up to play the FDR double basket doubles with Kyle.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, that goes for 2 matches. Can I go back to my last take? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, does Vegas know this? It changes the odds.
Well, Evan, you know this. What are you going with? J Park or the North?
I'm going to go with J Park on this one. I think they're a great team.
Their odds improved because no Corey?
No, I think that's still calculating. I'm not sure, but I'm still gonna go with J Park. I think that's the smart money in this case. The North, they're a good group of people, and I'm glad there's a new team. And I think J Park has got this one though.
All right, Alex.
I have a hard time betting on the first year team to take this one down, so I'm going to go with the wrenches on this one.
All right. Well, we're going right to you for Chatham Hill Country Club at the Revolution.
I got to bet on the Country Club. I got to go for us on this one. It's definitely going to be a tough one. We're going up against Tyler Calzada's captaining this year, which obviously I'm very familiar with how he plays, having been a Stonykiller and is still a Stonykiller. But I got to go with us because I feel like this is one we have a chance at, and I want to go 3-3 at least.
That's fair. Evan, who you got?
This one, I think, will be closer, but I will go with Saratoga at home. Having played there this year, it's a scoreable course for both teams, but Saratoga's got a lot of really good players, and they're playing with a lot of great energy this year, so I think I'll take them at home.
Jaimen.
I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm looking at the Adirondack Thunder schedule right now, and it looks like they have a home game on Saturday. So I don't know. I do know. After going and playing the country club, you guys got a lot of strong players that are not going to be too fooled by Spa. I think I'm gonna go with Alex on this one.
All right, Chatham Hill. Corey,
Yep.
Who you got?
I'm going Saratoga by 3.5. Wait, no, we're gonna go by 3. Saratoga by 3.
Wait, what's the over/under?
So final matchup: Widowmakers at Beast of Burbine. Corey, who you got?
Wilcox at Burbine. Wilcox by 6.
Jaimen?
Yeah, I think Wilcox is going to take this. All of their players are Stonykillers or were just playing in a tournament, so they are fresh. And I don't think too many beasts have been playing competitive golf the last few weeks.
Evan?
I'll go with Wilcox on this one.
Alex?
I kind of want to go against Chalk. I think this is one where there's a possibility that it could go the other way. I am going to pick Wilcox on this one. I'm just going off of Wilcox nearly dropped the match against Stonekill. So going to a similar spot where there's some home field advantage. I think Burbine has a chance, but I am gonna bet on the last year's champs.
All right. You guys got time for a quiz?
I do have time, yes.
Yep, I'm around.
I got time for a quick one.
Corey?
Yep.
All right. So I got 3 rounds. First 2 to get picked will count. Since Evan is our guest, who would you like as your partner, Evan?
I will go with Jaimen.
Ooh, charity pick.
We'll see. I mean, I played with Corey, and he kept calling me JP, so.
I don't know how
No hard
that
feelings,
is.
bud.
I guarantee to at least remember your name.
All right, it's a deal.
Evan and Jaimen and Corey B. Potts, but nobody gets that. So Corey and Alex. All right. And since you picked first, you get to go first. What category would you like? Evan and Jaimen, category 1 or category 3?
1 or 3? Want to go? What are you gonna say?
I'm sorry, category 1, category 2, or category 3?
Oh. All right, let's go with C.
You go with that, Evan?
Yes, please.
C out of the choice of 1, 2, or 3.
Yes, I like that.
Question 1, category C. What letter is the first initial of a Hoover and the middle initial of a Foyt? What letter is the first initial of a Hoover and the middle initial of a Foyt?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's J, for J. Edgar Hoover and A.J. Foyt.
Oh, that's great because I didn't even understand the question. I was like, is there like an ad campaign for Hoovers that I don't know about? I like it. Let's go with it.
You good, Evan?
Yeah.
Is the J a disc?
Yes, it's an Innova mid-range, I think.
Yeah.
Innova Champion Disc, September 5th, 2022. Corey and Alex, what category? 1, 2, or 3?
That past one was 3, right?
Yeah, that was 3.
Category 9, was that what you said, Corey?
I want to do 2.
Sure.
2.
All right. Question 1, category 2. 3-letter trees include elm, oak, and what member of the olive family used for furniture and baseball bat? 3-letter trees include elm, oak, and what member of the olive family used for furniture and baseball bat?
Ash.
Yeah, the only other 3-letter that I can think of is ash, but I don't know about the other ones. Ash sounds right for baseball bats, but I don't know.
See, now, is this an all-inclusive list of all 3-letter trees? Because ash is one.
I bet there's a couple more out there if we really searched hard.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't have to be ash.
It's a question
3 letters.
1. I feel like we don't need to stress too much on this one.
Okay, so ash.
Let's go with ash.
Is the ash a disc?
I don't know. Feels like it could be a doomsday disc.
It does seem something fire themed.
Yeah, it feels like there's like a torch discs. That's a thing.
Is there a Nintendo disc?
Don't know about Nintendo discs. I don't think so.
Is there a horror movie discs?
The Ash Ketchum disc.
Oh, okay. I see what you're going there.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Somebody appreciates my humor.
I didn't want to help them out at all, but that's what I was thinking.
So, do you want to say yes? I don't really like it.
I feel like there's a lot of things pointing to a possible yes. So I feel
Yeah.
like yes is a good question, a good answer.
Yes.
Yes.
Forged discs, October 14th, 2024.
Recent.
All right, so category 2 or 3, Evan and Jaimen.
You pick, Jaimen.
Let's go back to 3.
Okay.
All right, question 2, category 3 is a noun. What word is the cry of a rooster? As a verb, it means to exult blatantly over the misfortune of another. As a noun, what word is the cry of a rooster? As a verb, it means to exult blatantly over the misfortune of another.
Gotta be crow.
That's what I was thinking. I'm just like, I'm wondering if there's something else that I'm not thinking of, but the crow of a rooster sounds right to me. Yeah, I like it.
Unless it's cock-a-doodle-doo.
No.
Is the cock-a-doodle-doo.
We'll go with crow, Pat.
Although, I can't really joke anymore about that shit, because who knows?
Yeah, unless you've checked it.
Yeah, is the crow a disc?
It is. CRO, though. Yep.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. I agree, yeah.
Oh, you're right. I did not have that as. Let me double
Damn,
check.
real time.
Yeah, no, this is a real time deal.
Is that a variation on the orc? Is that why that's called
Yeah, because
CRO?
they got every fucking version. I forgot about that.
Rock, ROC.
Oh, I don't know about that, but this crow is a throwing putter. If it is a variation of orc, it's a very loose one.
No, they got the rock, the orc, and the crow.
Yeah.
Innova Champion Discs, June 21st, 2006. CRO. Damn you, Jay.
Damn you, Matt Pappas, for throwing that thing so well that I remember it
Nah,
10
that's-
years later.
I appreciate that kind of stuff. Like Jay, I asked you for a letter answer, but it's actually technically JAY, so it's in the same family. All right, Corey and Alex, down 4-2, category 2 or 3.
I wish Randy was here.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe stick with 2.
Yeah, I like that choice.
That's sweet. I miss him too, Alex.
Question 2, category 2. The Texas legislature called what alliterative cactus rugged and beautiful in naming it its state plant? The Texas legislature called what alliterative cactus rugged and beautiful in naming it the state plant?
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's the prickly pear,
Okay, yeah. Prickly
right?
pear.
That's the only alliterative one I can think of.
I don't know. Cacti could be alliterative. Yeah, which one did you say?
I think prickly pear. Cactus.
Prickly pear.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Is the prickly pear a disc?
Oh, I didn't really. I put all my faith in you, but I didn't think it was going to be the answer. A prickly pear? That's.
It could be a Lone Star. It can always be a Lone Star when you're talking about Texas.
Yeah, Texans really do love their Texas stuff, and if it's a state vegetable or whatever, then Texans are the one to want to flaunt it.
State plant, Corey.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I think it is a disc.
I think so too.
Lone Star Discs, November 11th, 2024.
Nice.
We are tied. Evan and Jaimen, category 2 or 3.
Which one do you want?
I'm cool sticking with 3. It's going well so far.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I do like category 2 also, but let's go. I think it's working.
I'm no Randy Bemis, but either way,
Going with 3?
Yeah.
sure.
All right. Question 3, category 3. Something done on a whim may be done on what songbird of the family Alaudae. Something done on a whim may be done on what songbird of the family Alaudae?
That would be on a lark, right?
I agree. That's what I thought of.
All right,
A lark,
nice.
Pat.
Is the lark a disc?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't really have any reason to say no, right?
I've never seen or thrown one, but it's a great name, so I think probably, yeah.
Yeah, everything else is. It's a street. We got that going.
Stokely Discs, October 14th, 2024.
That's right. I have I won't say his other ones, but okay, yeah.
All right, Corey and Alex, category 2 or 3?
I do not like 3 anymore.
Yeah, I don't like 3, but I also am not a huge fan of 2. But yeah, I'm
Go
good
for
with whatever
C.
you want to do.
I'm not going to know anything from 3. Haven't known a single one yet except for J.
I had Crow and Lark. I don't know if I would have had J.
Oh, really? Oh, actually, no, I did not have J. No, you're right. That question was the hardest one he asked. Yeah. No, I said, yeah, but let's stick with 2 for maybe
Stick
another
with
round.
2? Let's stick with 2.
All right, question 3, category 2. Traditionally, marzipan gets its unique flavor from what type of nut that is often enhanced with the extract? Traditionally, marzipan gets its unique flavor from what type of nut and is often enhanced with the extract?
I'm pretty sure it's almond.
Yes, we got a bakery question for a fucking Potts family member. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, almond sounds great. If you think so, I'm sure your mom's got a pan of marzipan.
There you go.
Almond?
I'm pretty sure it's almond, and I'm going to feel bad if I miss it. But I'm pretty sure it's
Almond extract. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, yeah, almond.
Is the almond a disc?
You're the one who plays with Kyle all the time. Is it a Clash disc?
I kind of want to say it was. It could just be me bullshitting myself, but I was kind of leaning towards yeah.
All right, I feel good about it. So yeah, I say yes.
Yes.
Clash Discs, April 3rd, 2024. We are tied at 6. Evan and Jaimen, category 2 or 3?
I don't know. What do you think? I'll let you decide.
Let's go with 2.
All right, I like it.
Question 4, category 2. The state flower of both Michigan and Arkansas. What tree's blossom time is celebrated in song? The state flower of both Michigan and Arkansas. What tree's blossom time is celebrated in song?
Michigan and Arkansas, those are such different climates.
Right?
My first thought is cherry.
Yeah, that did come to mind when cherry blossomed.
There's not going to be any magnolias in Michigan.
We've also, well, I don't
Is
know.
there a lilac song anywhere? Sorry, what were you saying?
Just looking at the other answers in category 2 to see if, a theme and whether I don't dislike cherry, and it seems likely that there's a song about that.
Yeah, there's a Japanese folk song.
Of course, right. Yeah.
Very relevant to Michigan and Arkansas.
Doesn't have to be.
Right. It crosses boundaries. I like it, and I don't have a better guess, so cherry's good with me.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
You guys good?
Yeah.
What do you got, Corey and Alex?
I got no clue. You got anything, Corey?
No, I mean, I was thinking, for the first thing that came to my mind, too, was cherry blossom. And they said cherry, and I feel like if it was cherry blossom, then Pat would have said, can you be more specific? So I don't think it's cherry blossom anymore.
I absolutely would have.
Mm-hmm. And let's get Pat to ask us the question one more time and then come up with nothing.
Sure.
The state flower of both Michigan and Arkansas. What tree's blossom time is celebrated in song?
All right, so it's a tree that blossoms, and so it's probably a fruit tree of some kind. They said cherry. It's probably not orange.
Ash, hair, almond, what?
It could be an apple. Could be apple blossoms.
Boots with the fur, yeah.
Apple bottom.
Plum?
It could be a plum. I don't know how plums grow.
They're not a root vegetable.
I agree with that one.
Sure, apple or plum?
And my first thought was apple, because that's the first thing I think of when I think of like blossoming trees.
Okay, yeah, sure. Apple.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm good with going apple, but I don't know.
Are you guys good with apple?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you be more specific?
I mean, apple blossom then,
Apple blossom.
because we're looking for the flower, right?
Is the apple blossom a disc?
I don't know.
No, it's not.
Sure.
Going now?
Going now.
Go Ringer Discs, September 2nd, 2024.
Oh, Go Ringer. Okay, gotcha.
GOERINGER. Corey and Alex, category 2 or 3?
Wait a second. What song is this in?
Apple blossom G.
It's an old song.
I have no clue.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was a song in the question. I thought you were just
Yeah.
asking me to.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just quizzing him back. No, I was just wondering.
Well, the White Stripes have a song called Apple Blossom.
Okay, I was just wondering. All right.
Corey and Alex, what category? 2 or 3?
I feel like since they pissed on our category, we should piss on theirs and go to 3.
We should mess one up to throw it back to them. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Question 4, category 3. The name of what falcon is from a word for wander, appropriate since it makes its home on every continent except Antarctica? The name of what falcon is from a word for wander, appropriate since it makes its home on every continent except Antarctica?
I mean, the only falcon I think I can think of is Peregrine.
Does that mean wanderer?
I don't know. It's the name of the guy from Lord of the Rings.
Uh,
Or one of the guys from Lord of the Rings. not like the guy.
nomad.
I think the one that was not on Lost.
I don't know which one was on Lost.
Jay, crow, lark. Seems like general birds. I don't know my falcon.
It could be a Millennium Falcon.
Oh. Pat's reaction made it seem like it's not that one. If you wanted to go with paraffin or whatever,
That's oil. We're going.
Peregrine.
I think Peregrine
Yeah.
is the name of the falcon.
yeah, sure.
You guys go with that?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Is the peregrine a disc?
Wow. Okay.
I'm glad it was Peregrine and not Falcon because when I said Millennium Falcon, I realized that's an actual disc. Millennium makes a Falcon.
But do they make a peregrine?
Is the Peregrine a disc? I feel like it could be, but I don't know.
I'm gonna say it's not.
You think it's not?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with you on this one.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Agree with not a disc.
Stokely Discs, December 2nd, 2024.
Mother effer. All right.
Last week.
Still, a good steal on the last one.
So you guys are up 8-6, but Evan and Jaimen, what category would you like? 2 or 3?
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm embarrassed that I missed Apple. So
Yeah, that one's a shot in the dark. Like,
Yeah.
Arkansas and Michigan are not
Yeah.
close enough to expect the same tree. Yeah, I mean, I've known everything except for the J in number 3 so far.
yeah, up to you. I don't care.
All right, let's go with 3 again.
3, Pat.
All right, question 5, category 3. The chiff-chaff and the ovenbird are what type of songbird whose name could refer to anyone who sings? The chiff-chaff and the ovenbird are what type of songbird whose name could refer to anyone who sings?
Anyone who sings.
While you guys are thinking, I've been meaning to point this out. Alex was the one who had the idea for the Joker quiz round, the smoker, midnight toker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't want to mention it that night because he was playing in it, but that was Alex's idea. Like 6 months ago, at least. I had to make it to where maybe he'd forget about it.
Can you hear the question again? I forgot it.
The chiff-chaff and the ovenbird are what type of songbird whose name could refer to anyone who sings?
Anyone who sings. So what's a name for a singer? A vocalist? Could it just be songbird?
I feel like you said that in the question.
Oh, I literally don't remember. It's
The chiff-chaff and the ovenbird are what type of songbird whose name could refer to anyone who sings?
all right. We're zigging all over the place. We're stepping on all the landmines there, Evan. Yeah, I don't know. Vocalist. I can't think of anything else to describe somebody who sings except for singer.
Ooh, what about warbler?
Warbler?
Yeah, isn't that like an old-fashioned word? That and that's a
It
bird,
is.
I think.
Yeah, it's a type of bird. I like that. That's
It was
definitely.
something on the tip of my tongue the whole time. I think that's my best guess.
I like it. Let's go with warbler. I've seen an ovenbird nest before up at Greg's place, but yes, that sounds great.
We're going with warbler.
Is the warbler a disc?
Nice, Evan. Is the warbler a disc? Is it? You think it's one of those Stokely discs?
I haven't heard of that one. I had heard of peregrine, but I have not heard of warbler, so I don't think so.
Warbler sounds like a bad name. All those birds are like little tiny birds. It's not really. I don't like it. It sounds a little too much like wobble.
Yeah, I think no.
You go with that, Jaimen?
Yep.
You are correct.
Nice.
And we're tied. But Corey and Alex are questioning the whole category 2 or 3.
Don't feel strongly about 6.
I don't like birds.
Yeah, bird 6. So we
two.
go back to 2.
Category 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Question 5, category 2. Gifted from Japan as a token of friendship in 1912, what blossom, also called sakura, is a symbol of Japan? Gifted from Japan as a token of friendship in 1912, what blossom, also called sakura, is a symbol of Japan?
There's your cherry blossom.
Yeah, I was gonna say cherry blossom seems like it. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You guys good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the cherry blossom a disc?
Is the cherry blossom a disc? Interesting. I would have said the cherry is, but I don't know about the cherry blossom.
Well, the apple blossom was right.
It was. Yes.
I mean, I feel like cherry blossoms are more wide known than apple blossoms.
Sure.
So for that reason, I'm saying, yeah.
I'm with you. Let's go for it.
Go Ringer Discs, December 31st, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Evan and Jaimen down to what category, 2 or 3? These last ones, I will tell you, in both categories are tough. But you already knew that, Jaimen, since it was your idea.
I have no idea. What do you want to do?
2.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Question 6, category 2. What wide trunk trees of Africa and Madagascar are often called upside-down trees, can live for over 1,000 years and produce fruit with an edible pulp called monkey bread? What wide trunk trees of Africa and Madagascar are often called upside-down trees, can live over 1,000 years and produce fruit with an edible pulp called monkey bread?
Do you think you know this one?
I think that I don't know this one.
Oh, I want to say baobab.
I love it. And I think that is a disc.
It is. It's an AGL disc. They've got those really big wide trunks that like store water in them, I think.
I love it. I'm with you.
All right, let's go with baobab.
Is the baobab a disc?
I think it is. I feel like I've read that.
It is,
somewhere.
yeah. No, it is. It's a stupid overstable disc. It's got like a cult following.
Who makes it, Jaimen?
AGL. It's the same thing as the Stego, that reptilian disc, I think is the name the company made.
What year?
What year?
2022.
I'm going to say no, 2018.
Good thing you guys are partners. Above ground level, April 30th, 2020, right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
And we are tied. Final question, Corey and Alex. Question 6, category 3. Which pheasant species named after a 19th century British nationalist is critically endangered and primarily found in Taiwan? Which pheasant species named after a 19th century British naturalist is critically endangered and primarily found in Taiwan?
I don't know if I could name a single specific type of pheasant.
I thought they were all the same at this point after years of inbreeding. A Taiwanese pheasant named after some British dude in the 1910s.
19th century.
Sometime
So
in the 1800s. Brother, what? Reginald.
Yeah, I mean, could I hear the question one more time so I can still not come up with anything?
Which pheasant species named after a 19th century British nationalist is critically endangered and primarily found in Taiwan?
So we got a British nationalist from the 1800s.
Narrows it down.
Can you think of famous British people from the 1800s that are like politicians?
Nope. Nope.
They had the king. Was it still King James at that point? Like early 1800s, I think so. Nationalist.
Yeah, the James pheasant.
Who was the traitor in the Revolutionary War? Was that Benedict Arnold?
Oh, the Benedict. Yes.
Pheasant Benedict? Nice little brunch dish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Benedict. Slightly
Benedict?
more than Reginald. A lot more than James. So I say
Do we go Benedict or do we go Arnold?
I think we go Benedict.
Sure.
What do you got, Evan and Jaimen, for the win?
Jamin, I have no idea.
All right. So the only thought I have on this is if you can just think of all the Stokely discs, it might be one of those.
Yeah, the only other ones I'm really aware of are the cardinal and the owl. I'm not aware of any with a pheasant.
It could just be the cardinal pheasant.
Okay, yeah. It's probably not owl.
Yeah, right.
Lord Cardinal.
Yeah, that sounds like an English name. I don't know. Darwin? Did you say nationalist or naturalist?
Naturalist.
Naturalist.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I misheard
Which
that.
pheasant species named after a 19th century British naturalist is critically endangered and
I don't
primarily
know
found
any
in
British
Taiwan?
naturalists. I don't know. Pick a British name. We can go with Cardinal just because it's a Stokely disc, but other than that, I have no idea.
All right. Yeah. I'd say we go with cardinal and make this painless.
We were looking for the Swinho pheasant tornado throw August 16th, 2021.
Swinho.
Swinho. Of course.
Swinho Coup.
That sounds like an expletive that was used in the 19th century in England.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like the most obvious naturalist. I thought it was going to be a deeper cut.
We are tied at 10, but I have a quick fire tiebreaker round. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to start at the beginning. Evan and Jaimen.
Yeah, they were first.
Okay. Question 1, Evan and Jaimen. Also called an articulation, what do we call the place where two or more bones meet?
Joint?
Joint.
Is the joint a disc?
Ooh, maybe, yes.
Yeah. You want to go with yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Surprising.
Alex and Corey.
Right?
What slang term was coined by 5 high school students in San Rafael, California as part of their 1971 search for an abandoned cannabis crop based on a treasure map made by the grower? What slang term was coined by 5 high school students in San Rafael, California as part of their 1971 search for an abandoned cannabis crop based on a treasure map made by the grower?
1970s slang.
Just think of terms for weed that are slang,
Oh, I didn't think about
and
that.
it's like a treasure map.
What slang term was coined by 5 high school students in San Rafael, California as part of their 1971 search for an abandoned cannabis crop based on a treasure map made by the grower?
Pot?
Like a pot of gold.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only connection I could think of as far as treasure map, but like,
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
pot.
Let's do it.
What do you got, Evan and Jaimen?
Oh,
Dang.
So it's a variety of it, I think.
I have a guess, yeah.
You have a guess?
I do.
What do you
Based
think?
on the treasure map, I'm going to say Acapulco Gold. Like a Cheech and Chong type of reference.
Yeah, I've never heard that. So back in the day, back on Scott Stokely discs, he used to have a company that was weed names for discs. And I'm not going to say any more of them, but that's not one of them. Well, it's just a steal, so it's whatever. I say we just go with it. Keep it moving.
What were we going with?
Acapulco Gold. I'm fine with that.
We were looking for 420.
Really?
Oh.
Oh.
Vibrant Disc Golf, March 31st, 2014. 420. Evan and Jaimen, you're up 1. Question 3. What animal can be used as a verb, meaning to defeat someone overwhelmingly, especially if they are kept from scoring? What animal can be used as a verb, meaning to defeat someone overwhelmingly, especially if they are kept from scoring?
I don't know if this is an actual one, but goose? Like goose egg?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
I feel like that's not
goose.
goose. We're gonna go with that.
Sure.
Let's go with
Rapid fire,
goose.
right?
Sure,
You
yeah.
guys good with Goose? What do you got, Corey and Alex?
Skunk.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, and it's also,
I don't know if it's a
Skunky.
disc or not, but I'm pretty sure skunk is the right answer.
yeah, skunk is good.
You good with that, Corey?
Yeah.
You're tied. Is the skunk a disc?
Yes,
Oh.
it is.
Sure.
I'm sorry, no, you're still
Dang it.
tied. 3 questions left.
That was a steal.
That was a steal. Your question. Mark Twain said cauliflower is nothing but what vegetable with a college education? Mark Twain said that cauliflower is nothing but what vegetable with a college education?
Would it
Is
be
it broccoli?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure cauliflower and broccoli are like the same plant,
And
but
broccoli is kind of a
cultivated
weed
differently.
reference. Like, I got that broccoli on me.
You guys good with that?
I'm trusting you.
yeah, broccoli.
Evan and Jaimen, what do you got?
Oh, what? Damn, I thought that was a ringer.
Mark Twain said that cauliflower is nothing but what vegetable with a college education?
Could it be cabbage?
Cabbage, yeah.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Is the cabbage a disc?
Dang.
It's so
Nice.
obvious now.
That's how I felt about the last one.
Is cabbage a disc? Let's say no.
It's a terrible disc name, no.
Yeah.
You are correct. 2-point lead, final round.
And that was our steal, right?
So your question,
Oof,
the New
took
York
it away.
Botanical Gardens defined what as a non-wooden plant? Many, like bergamot and marjoram, are useful for food or medicine. The New York Botanical Garden defines what as a non-woody plant? Many, like bergamot and marjoram, are useful for food or medicine.
Herbs.
Would you include parsley? I think it's herbs as well.
Yeah.
You guys good?
Yes,
Is the herb a disc?
I hope so.
Yeah. Let's go with yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Boo.
You just started
still puts them
company.
up 3.
Yeah, I think you guys still have the win, but the final question, we'll give it to Corey and Alex because I wrote it and I got to
Might as
use
well.
it. What is the surname of the British singer-songwriter famous for hits like You're Beautiful in 1973? What is the surname of the British singer-songwriter famous for hits like You're Beautiful in 1973?
Blunt. James Blunt. Is that his name?
I don't know, but it sounds like a really good answer.
I'm pretty sure it's Blunt.
Sure.
Is the blunt a disc?
I don't know.
Damn. If 420 is and joint is, then yeah, Blunt is.
Joint was not, but 420 was.
Okay, well, if 420 was, then yeah, joint, then Blunt is, I mean.
Sure.
You guys good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Blunt or Blowfly Disc Golf Association, July 19th, 1996. So you made it close. They only beat you by one, but congratulations, Evan and Jaimen.
Almost.
Corey, I like the way you said Blunt. James Blunt.
Well, I couldn't do the first name first. I just remember his some stupid ass name singing, "You're beautiful." Right, that's the song.
That's the song I had in my head, but I don't know if it's the right one.
Okay.
It didn't quite sound like that in my head.
I'm surprised Roach didn't make the list of that one, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably already done.
Because I already used Roach.
Yeah.
Next week, as far as I know, we got 4 team challenge matches. Anything else?
Jenkinsville Monthly on the 21st. We're going to be doing a disc swap that'll get you 1 free mulligan as long as you use the disc that you got in the disc swap for that mulligan.
Nice.
And then we will also be doing a donation to Queensbury Parks and Rec Department so that they have a stockpile of discs to use for like beginner clinics and that kind of stuff. That will get you a second mulligan. Those ideas come courtesy of Brandon Klein and Kenji Klein. So
Brandon Klein.
That's your homie.
Thank you, Alex, Corey, Jaimen, Jason, and Evan. And sweet up, Hudson Battle.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks,
Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, guys. Evan, see, I knew you didn't do New England Team Challenge, but I knew Soto would sign, so I had to have you on to ask your opinion. What do you think of them signing Soto?
Yeah, that was very prescient of you. It's a huge deal, obviously. I will say I'm probably enjoying most all the sad Yankees fans online. And yeah, it's exciting. It's a huge deal. I was reading a little about it at work, and apparently there was an issue earlier this season with some of either the Yankees security staff or something involving they denied his either his family or somebody associated with him. They got a hard time basically, and I don't know. I heard the Mets may have leveraged that in some way to help make his mind up. So I don't know, but that's definitely a big deal for the Mets. It's exciting for the future. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm a Met fan, so if you want my honest opinion, probably the same as you in the sense that when's he going to get hurt?
Yep.
My feeling before this was if he stays with the Yankees, he's going to go ahead and finish out his Hall of Fame career. If he comes to the Mets, he's going to get hurt within the first couple years, and that money's just going to be a waste. It's going to be an albatross around the team's neck.
And he'll end up playing for Miami or something.
Exactly. They'll trade him and still pay 40 of the 50 million just to get him off the roster.
Well, at least it'll be worth it to have a new Bonita today.
Yeah, Jaimen, I saw somebody posted a picture of Bobby Bonilla and said, posted with no comment. Here's a picture of Bobby Bonilla. So, yeah, that one's still hanging around, obviously, for Mets fans.
But that was also, he didn't play for him. That would be, if they traded him and still paid part of his salary for the next decade, that would be a Bonilla. But I saw a lot of the Bonilla stuff, too, and it's like, the Wilpons were bad businessmen. Really. I mean, they got Bernie Madoff, so they thought they were going to make money on the deal. They thought that with the returns they're getting, this would just be a million of whatever millions that they're getting anyway. I really think I'm a defeatist. I think he's going to get hurt, so I'm worried about it. But still, it's nice to beat the Yankees at something.
I'm a 43-year-old Mets fan, so I was 5 when they won the World Series. So I've experienced, the last 40 years of Mets fandom. So I'm also waiting for the next shoe to drop.
Well, I was 10 when they won the World Series, and I went all through school. I mean, like elementary school, middle school, high school, without the Yankees winning anything. So I had a pretty nice upbringing.
That's true. The Yankees were pretty bad for a good long while.
Yeah. I mean, they had Mattingly, and that was it. I mean, a lot of it will depend on what they do the rest of the year. With the previous ownership, they would make one big deal, and that would be it. Now, I think that, like last year with Yamamoto and this year with Soto, those are just outliers. You got to go for those guys because they're young. I think this is the one exception to throwing away money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think they're going to be smart with the rest of things. This is just one of those guys. He's 26. That doesn't happen. Most free agents are 29, 30, and you lose these 4 or 5 years of, prime.
Yeah.
So it's like they're paying him $100 million for the next 5 years, and the last 200 or 300 million is just, for the last 10. I just wanted to get your opinion. Have a nice night, Evan. Talk to you later.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care. This has been your Hudson Valley, New York Mets podcast.
Yes. New York Mets Minute, Baseball Minute.